mentioned growing income inequality. Is that just a moral issue, or is it also an economic problem that we're facing?
Well, obviously it's a moral issue because it's not fair that certain people are at the bottom and don't seem to be having the ability to get to the top. You know, I started at the bottom, but I didn't have the handicaps that some people have for sure, disabilities and others had, so there are many people with greater problems than I had. But clearly I thought I had the path to the top and I thought I could get there. Many people don't have that view right now because they think that the system is so weighted against them. And it's a moral problem because no economy and no country can really live up to the ideals that we have for ourselves, or any country has, if people don't feel at the bottom they can ever rise to the top. And increasingly a large part of the underclass in our country don't feel they can rise to the top. But as an economic issue, it's very important as well, because if you don't have people who don't have wealth feeling that they can rise up and working hard and creating more wealth, ultimately the economy isn't going to prosper. And so the greatest problem I think we really have in the country right now is not the debt, which is a big problem, but it's manageable, it can be solved over a period of time. And it's not the income disparity, because it's great, but that can be eventually dealt with if we do one thing I'm going to mention. And it's not just the unemployment rate. It is that we are not educating our young people as well as we should. We are the envy of the world in higher education. Everybody wants a Harvard degree, a Stanford degree, a Duke degree, a Chicago degree, a Penn degree. Everybody around the world always say to me, can you get my child into these schools? Not that I can, but they always hope that they can help them some way. People want these American degrees. Maybe they even want the education as well, but they certainly want the degree. Nobody calls me up and says, can you get my kid into a public school K-12 program in the United States? Nobody ever says that. Why is that? Because the K-12 program is broken, largely. Now, obviously, we've made some progress with charter schools, and we've made enormous progress the last couple of years compared to where it was. But you have a situation in Washington, D.C., where roughly half the people, as an example, who enter the D.C. public high schools do not graduate from high school. And if you do not graduate from high school, your chance of earning money comparable to a college graduate is much reduced. You'll probably earn, on average, less than 50% of what a college graduate earns if you don't graduate from high school, much less than 50%. You have a greater chance of going to prison. A much greater chance of going to prison. People that don't graduate from high school have a much greater chance of being in our penal system than people who do graduate from high school. And then you have an underclass that really, I think, saps the morality and the economic vitality of the country, and that is our greatest single problem. We can only, in the end, solve disparity if we are educating people who need to be educated and they graduate from high school and they actually go to college or an equivalent.